Another video by Wilson CPA. I'm in Westerville, do tax preparation, work with people in QuickBooks and etc. Like to make the accounting process user-friendly. Now on to the video. We're back at the Rock Castle Construction Company using QuickBooks 2014, although I think many of these same things will apply in other. Today we're going to apply a payment against a customer receivable. Fairly simple process, but we want to do it right. So first thing I'm going to have you do is take a look at a report. We're going to go to customers and accounts receivable aging. So memorize reports, customers, accounts receivable aging. And this is a list of all the customers who owe you money, and you can see that Heather Campbell owes you for a remodeling job, $13,900. If you look at all of the customers, they owe about $78,000. Of course, that is as of this particular date. So any payments applied after this date, on this date or later, will change this report. So let's go ahead and apply a payment. What we have is Heather has paid for the services. She has made a partial payment on the remodeling. So we're going to go to banking. We're going to make a deposit because we have a check in hand. Receive from. Let's find Heather. There's Heather Campbell. Now if I pick Heather Campbell like this, it's going to apply to her account in general. And I'm going to show you how to do it that way first, and then you'll see what I'm talking about. This is accounts receivable because we had put an invoice in the system and charged it to accounts receivable for Heather Campbell for the amount of the job. So I'm going to say $6,500 down payment. And the check is 456. Payment method, it'll be a check. And the amount, $6,500. All right, I'm going to save and close this. And then we're going to go look at the aging. All right, Heather Campbell. There's the original invoice. Here is the $6,500. The problem with this is that the $6,500 belonged to the remodeling job. But let's just go ahead and take a look at a few other things. You would have noticed also that the aging has dropped from $78,000 down to this. It's dropped $6,500. So let's take a look at this again. Anytime a lot of times in QuickBooks when you see the word other show up, that means it's sort of applied to nothing. And that's okay. I mean, it could be that we just received the $6,500 and it really wasn't intended to be applied to a specific invoice, and maybe at a later time it would be reconciled. But we're going to go ahead and make a slight edit on this. The nice thing about QuickBooks is it is easy to edit these things. All right, Heather Campbell. Now we're going to go down to just right below that, where it says remodel. Hit save and close. Go ahead and close this out. And now you see that the remodel job had the $6,500 applied to it. Let's drill down on it. Here's the original invoice on the 18th. Here's a payment on the invoice. And here's the balance. So from an audit standpoint, you'd want to see that going to the bank on 12/18/2018 or 12/15/2018. The deposit slip should be dated this. If the bank may not give you credit for a couple of more days, that's okay. But from an auditing standpoint, you'd want your deposit slip to say 12/15/2018. Just good audit, just good accounting practice. So let's go and do one more thing to Heather's account. And I know we're going a little bit backwards here, but let's look at the invoice. The invoice originally was set up like this. And let's just go ahead and play devil's advocate and say that maybe it wasn't correct to begin with, and that's why she's paying the $6,500. There could be lots of different things going on there. But let's just say that when it was negotiated, it was not supposed to exceed, the floor plans were not supposed to exceed that 15 hours. And then that would have lowered the price of that. And now you can see the slight change in the account now. And again, the good and bad in QuickBooks. The good is it's very easy to change things. The bad is that somebody can also get in there and change things, and maybe they weren't intended to be changed. So just one of those things. Now I'm going to go ahead and let's do one more thing. Let's go. I know I'm working a little bit backwards on this, but I'm going to now create an invoice for Heather Campbell again. So I think that's Campbell. And the item is going to be blueprint charges. And they're going to be 10. And the rate is $25 per each. Now we've got the invoice. So let's do this. It's going to be on 12/8/15/2018. And again, you can see how easy it is to create the invoice. And at this point, you can pay or print the invoice, or do whatever you want to do with it. I think that's going to conclude tonight's lesson. I like to keep them short and sweet. Not a whole lot of, don't want to overload it. Take a look here. We see now the $250 showing up there. Here's the other amount, which was $13,000 minus the $6,500. All right. Thanks and good luck with your QuickBooks.